The movie starts with the first Special Service Force getting to their mission point while climbing a steep mountain using ropes. It's dark and cold, and the soldiers are sneaking up behind the enemy soldiers. Soon after, the shooting starts, and the Americans take down the Germans down the hill. People are dead everywhere. 12 years earlier, a father, Robert, was teaching his kid, Sam, how to shoot a gun, telling him to always point the gun away from people, and the kid doesn't want to shoot anyone else because he is a gentle soul. He even tells his kid to pull the trigger with the tip of the finger. Sam focuses up and takes the shot, hitting the can dead center. He then proceeds to hit the rest of the cans one by one. That's when his dad tells him that he wasn't sent to fight in the First World War, only to take care of the horses. He hopes that Sam can actually fight in the next war. Now it's 12 years later, and Sam is saying goodbye to his parents as he's about to get on the bus to fight in the Second World War. His parents are scared, but proud that their son is becoming a man. Sam is on the bus now, headed off to war. After some time, a letter arrives at the burn house. It was written by Sam, and he's telling them that he's finished basic training and is recruited into the 1st Special Service Force, and he'll be going to train with that unit soon. The unit is going to be sent when the missions are too tough for other regular units. He hopes his dad will be proud of him and tells them he'll send more letters as soon as he can. Sam arrives at Fort William and is greeted by Master Sergeant Sanders. He gets to his hut, and after walking inside, he meets his crew: Ernest Chipchase, Jean-Paul Sabourin, also known as Frenchie, and Jack Knight. Ernest then tells everyone they've been called to formation, and they all go outside. Outside, they're about to get training for hand-to-hand combat by Captain Pat O'Neill. He tells them they'll need to find a way to take the weapon of the enemy. He calls up Sam and then quickly shows just how to take down the enemy by knocking out Sam. When Sam gets back up, Pat is impressed that he didn't stay down. Somewhere in town, Grace is sewing, but her friend is trying to convince her to go out to the local bar for some fun. After some persuading, Grace agrees to go. At the bar, Sam and the crew are having some drinks, but they're only there to look for women. The piano is playing and the people are dancing, but Grace and her friend are standing in the corner. Sam then spots Grace from across the room, and while everyone else is having a good time, she walks up to him and asks for a dance because he looks shy and quiet. He acts a little awkward, but he manages to introduce himself, and she gets him up and she shows him how to dance the swing. She then takes him to the dance floor, and they start to dance together and have a great time. Back in the hut, the soldiers are making fun of how Sam met Grace. All of a sudden, Sanders comes in, screaming at them to get outside as soon as possible. They rush outside in the night, and he makes them fill up their bags with rocks. They complain, but he's trying to teach them to carry heavy loads for miles without getting tired. He takes them running up the hill with the heavy rocks inside their backpacks. He tries to motivate them, but they're too tired, and one of them even falls down. And Sam tries to help, but Sanders tells him to just leave the kid. In the morning, they all get back to their huts, and they're exhausted. Sanders tells them to keep the rocks. In the dining hall, they're trying to figure out where they'll be sent to, but no one knows anything about it. They're now training how to jump off planes, and they are only learning how to jump out, not how to use the parachute yet. Sanders then tells them to go to lunch and enjoy it because they will not be getting any warm food for a long time, because he'll be taking them somewhere that'll make the previous hike with rocks look like a vacation. They try to complain, but they'll need to get ready because war is not going to let them sleep. The hike starts, and the boys are getting stronger and complaining less. They walk up the hill silently following Sanders and giving each other a morale boost. Sam sends home another letter explaining to his parents about everything he's been doing and how he's excited to have a new baby sister at home. Robert is listening to the letter, and he is worried about Sam. Back at the hut, they're all proud of themselves because no one in this hut has quit the training. Sanders walks right in and warns them not to get cocky because tomorrow they'll actually be jumping out of a plane, and gives them their letters. Sam gets a letter from his dad saying he's excited that Sam is selected for the special unit. The next day, everyone is on the plane getting ready to do their first jump. They're nervous but excited. Sanders gives them the signal, and one by one, they all follow each other out of the plane. Sam gets nervous and stops, but he's pushed out. Everyone is in the air now. Parachutes are open, and they reach the ground safely. They think it's easy, but as they looked up, they saw how easy it would be to shoot down the paratroopers as they came down, and now they're nervous and think they're part of a suicide squad. That night, they're all at the bar and drinking when the girls arrive and the dancing starts. Sam and Grace are close now, and everyone watches as they dance, and he tells her he's officially a paratrooper now. She is proud, but is also scared that he might have to go to war soon. As they danced, the miners came up and wanted to dance with the women. Sam gave in, and so did Frenchie. The next day, Pat shows them their special knife and exactly how to use it in different ways to take down their enemy. Later on that night, they go back to the bar. Grace comes by and Sam talks to her, and Chipchase starts to sing softly, and everyone else starts to dance to the music. Their training continues as they hone their skills before going to war, but Grace and Sam are getting closer than ever and falling in love deeper. One morning, Sanders Sanders barges in as usual and tells them that this will be their last day of training and they will be off to war the next day. They all get on the train, ready to head off, but Grace stops Sam to say goodbye. She gives him a letter and it's now time to leave, so he gives her a big hug and gets on the train. He reads the letter and Grace is telling him how much she loves him and to write to her as often as he can so she knows he is okay. All of a sudden, they're almost at the battlefield in Italy. They're to clear the Germans out of a mountain road so the other units can safely pass through. The boys are worried about how to get up the mountain, but Sanders has an idea. He thinks they can climb the cliff at night and surprise the Germans in the morning. So that night, the ropes came down and the troops climbed up the cliff. They climb the mountain quietly and spot the Germans down the mountain. They take them out quietly and Sam is on the top about to shoot, but he doesn't want to kill anyone and he gets nervous. But the Germans hear the noise and they start shooting at them. Sam now has no choice and shoots 2 soldiers, and now he can't stop. He shoots down multiple enemies from the hilltop, showing he is an excellent marksman. 3 days later, everyone German dead. The Americans have taken the mountain, but mortar fire is coming from the far side. The boys rally and start shooting back. After 2 days of fighting, they take the mortars, but Sam gets shot. He woke up and he was saved by sugar cubies he had in his pocket. Frenchie helps him up and everyone is relieved he's not dead. That night, they're picking off anything valuable from the dead soldiers on the ground, but not all of them are dead. When they set their weapons down, the enemy soldier gets up and shoots at Frenchie, but Sam quickly jumps in and stabs him with the knife, but it was just a child, and Sam panics about it, and they drag him to safety as they were being shot at. The next day, Frenchie is almost asleep as Sam reads a letter from Grace. It's now 2 weeks later when Sanders comes by and tells them they'll be fighting on Christmas, and Frenchie makes a joke, and Sam is scared of dying on Christmas because his mother would kill him for it. In the snow, they carry the mortar through fire and hear someone calling for a medic. They carry the injured soldier back into safety while the enemy fires back at them. The snow is thick and they can barely see anything until a mortar lands next to Sam. Frenchie goes looking for him and thinks he's dead, but he wakes up again. Sam is lucky again. A year later, in 1944, they're carrying more of the injured and dead from the field, and they're tired. Then they started getting shot at and needed to take cover, but Sanders got shot. He tells them to run off and get to safety and dies in their arms. They carry him over to camp and set him down on the ground, and the medics take him. Sam is exhausted and can barely stand, and Frenchie calls over a medic who instantly knows what's wrong and tells him he has jaundice and sends him to the hospital. Back at home, the family gets a letter from Sam telling them that he's in the hospital now for 3 weeks and he almost died, but he's fine now and will be back with his unit soon, but he hopes the war will stop. Sam is back with his unit and they're about to start a raid on the German camp at night. The orders are to get in and out quickly after killing as much as they can quietly to get the Germans scared. The German troops are relaxed, not knowing the special force is sneaking up behind them. They get right behind 3 soldiers and take them out all at once. One German soldier surrenders and they take his gun and search him, and he is terrified. He doesn't want to die just like them, and he was sent to fight in a war he doesn't know about, just like them. They bond with this soldier more than they did with anyone else after realizing they've got much in common and aren't actually enemies. Sam is writing to Grace telling her the war is almost over and how much he wants to be with her instead of in the war. The next morning, they find out that the Germans are scared of their unit, and Sam learns how to tell Germans to surrender in their language from the translator. That night, Sam and Frenchie talk about the war, wondering which side God would be on in the war, but Sam thinks God is angry at both sides for all the killing. Frenchie tells him that he has a letter in his pocket to send to his family in case he dies. A letter gets home from Sam, they read it together, and he tells his brother to never get to the war. The unit is given stickers to put on Germans that they've killed to demoralize the enemy. That night, they sneak through the bushes and find enemy soldiers and get them to surrender. After getting them to camp, they go out looking for more, and the Germans know them as the Black Devils and are too scared to fight, so they surrender. The next day, Sam and his unit have taken many prisoners, and Sam comes back with the news that they have orders to take out a sniper nest. There's no cover, so they can't get to the building without getting shot. But there is a plan. That night, they crawl while being hidden by the tall grass and get to the building and see the window where the sniper is shooting from, but Frenchie gets shot. Sam is devastated, but shoots, and a soldier thinks he shot the sniper. But as soon as he gets up, he is shot down. Sam is now angry and wants the sniper all to himself and takes the shot and kills the sniper. They carry the dead on their way back, and Sam finds Frenchie's letter that he wrote in case he died. He gives the letter and his personal items to the general to get to his family. He gives Sam some hot chocolate for him to finally relax for a bit. They talk, and Sam tells him that he never thought he was capable of killing until he pulled the trigger the first time, and he now couldn't stop, and he even started to feel good about it. The killing never stops, and it's not something any of them can ever forget. As the movie ends, the soldiers are being thanked by the people they freed, and his final letter to Grace tells her that the war is not over, and he feels responsible to stay and fight on behalf of the brothers that he lost. He is not the same man that she knows anymore, and might not be the same again. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.